was a world of men, some gathering for drinks at the private club India House, while others stopped to have their shoes shined, and still others rolled carts through the streets full of stock certificates, beautifully ornate artworks to basement depositories for safekeeping. When Alice Jarko left home, dropping out of Queens College to start afresh in Manhattan, she did not intend to go to Wall Street. Neither she, nor anyone else for that matter, would have imagined she would become the first woman to fully trade on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. 19-year-old Alice just needed to pay her rent. She took a job as a receptionist at Hirsch & Company, one of the many small brokerage firms that proliferated on Wall Street in those days. Coming home after work to an apartment on a sketchy underpopulated block near the recently defunct Jacob Rupert Brewery in Yorkville. The one-bedroom apartment she shared with a nursing student cost $157.60 per month, and was so small that if you opened the Murphy bed, you had to climb over it to get to the bathroom. Even so, Alice's salary at Hirsch & Company could not cover her bills. And as red inked overdue notices stacked up, she found a better-paying job elsewhere. Her only goal was liberation. Growing up in a row house in Forest Hills, Queens, Alice had a mother who was a card-carrying communist, until Khrushchev's revelations about Stalin's crimes in 1956. She did not play canasta or visit the beauty parlor like the other mothers. Instead, she worked at the American Labor Party offices day and night. And, if there was free time, she'd either be on a picket line or in front of the Macy's department store, with a 7-year-old Alice in tow, handing out copies of the communist newspaper, The Daily Worker. The Forest Hills house, littered with books, the site of political meetings in the basement, was not a safe zone. The FBI came often. Alice had already bid goodbye to Wall Street when she bumped into Jane Larkin while standing in line for movie tickets for an Ingmar Bergman film. The daughter of a Manhattan detective, Larkin was a rarity on Wall Street, an exception that proved the rule. A successful woman in finance, a research analyst, and partner at Hirsch & Company, the brokerage firm Alice had left for a better paycheck. Later, when the women's movement kicked into high gear, Larkin would insist, "A feminist I am not." In that sense, she was very much a woman of her time. Larkin pulled Alice aside and asked her to return to Hirsch & Company. They were opening a new branch office, and would she consider coming to work there as a secretary? Alice agreed, as long as this time she'd be paid enough to cover her bills. The branch was, as Larkin had promised, brand new, with glassed-in offices and a wide-open room in the center where the so-called money-makers, the big producers, sat. The ticker board ran across one wall, but if you thought you'd missed something, you could still get up and walk over to the old ticker tape machine to check the seemingly infinite strip of narrow white paper with printed stock symbols and prices that the machine spewed out all day. If a stock suddenly showed movement, up or down, someone in the room would shout it out. Hirsch & Company was on the retail side of the business, meaning their clients were individual investors rather than institutions, and a large part of a broker's job was to cold call customers. For the brokers doing the cold calling, however, these were easy times. The economy was booming, and trade commissions were fixed, non-negotiable, so that investors paid brokers per trade, based on the volume of stock bought or sold. As a broker, you didn't have to hustle. You didn't even have to know the intricate ins and outs of the market, really. You just had to churn out trades, encouraging your clients to buy and sell. The hustle would come later, as would the serious money. Alice had just about settled in at her new job when the manager walked in one morning, opened his desk drawer, and pulled out a gun. Everyone could see right through into his glassed office as he stood there, waving the gun about. People shouted at him to stop, pleading with him to put it down. When the police arrived, and then the ambulance, he was taken away in a stretcher under police custody. That same day, Alice Jarko, the secretary, became Alice Jarko, the de facto office manager. The number 2 guy, the next in line, was a successful money producer, sitting prominently in the very